Nkandla, the birthplace and upbringing of former President Jacob Zuma, the MK Party has lost yet another election. The Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, further solidified its position as the region's leading political force by securing a commanding majority in a fiercely fought by-election for Ward 04. With 1,057 votes, the IFP well outnumbered Zuma's MK Party, which earned 770. Please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so as to get all our updates. Despite Zuma's close personal ties to the area, the MK Party's efforts to win support in Nkandla have been met with rejection. Nkandla, a town that has historically been a stronghold of the ANC and the IFP, has turned into a battleground as Zuma's MK Party attempts to find its place in South Africa's crowded political landscape. Zuma's loyal followers have been referred to as a cult because of the former president's lasting influence, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, his home province. However, despite of Zuma's personal significance, this latest loss shows that his political party is struggling to win significant support even in his birthplace. Voters have continued to support the IFP in rural KwaZulu-Natal, and its overwhelming win demonstrates its continued significance there. Riding high on the opposition's fragmentation due to internal ANC struggle and the emergence of smaller parties like the MK Party, the party has been gaining popularity in recent local elections. The by-elections outcomes demonstrate how difficult it will be for the MK Party to get beyond its present emphasis on Zuma. Despite the former president's charm and extended presence, voters in Nkandla seem to be sticking with the IFP. Zuma's party has suffered a serious setback with this defeat, raising questions about its prospects for the future and its position in South Africa's shifting political landscape. Once again, it has been claimed that Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi is at the center of a vast cover-up of widespread fraud, money laundering, and corruption that has cost the province government hundreds of millions of rand that were given to the Department of Social Development, DSD, to help poor non-governmental organizations. Now acting as a whistleblower, AfriForum's private prosecution unit has been informed to make sure the involved officials and others who have helped them, including politicians, are held legally accountable for the fraud that has been occurring for over 10 years. Numerous forensic reports on the distribution of monies to non-profit organizations for the execution of food banks, school uniforms, and dignity packs have been presented to the unit. The studies suggest that officials be subject to both criminal and disciplinary penalties for allegedly committing crimes including money laundering, corruption, and fraud. The DSD suspended 13 involved officers between September 2023 and January of this year, as has been widely publicized. They are now back at work, however, since their bans have been removed. The whistleblower claims that although Lesufi was given the reports, he chose to let a law firm examine them and clear the implicated officials instead of taking action. He also revoked the law firm's mandate to hold the 13 officials' disciplinary hearings. The conduct of your office and the MEC for Social Development, in the absence of a reasonable explanation, may be construed as defeating the ends of justice and or at least fruitless and wasteful expenditure, writes ADV Jerry Nell, head of the unit, in a letter to Lesufi's office, stating that the actions seem to be an attempt to hide the alleged crimes and protect the implicated officials. It is inconceivable that the agency would examine its own report that was acquired from an impartial source. In light of your actions, we must call your attention to Section 34 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, 12 of 2004, which requires you to cooperate in providing law enforcement with all relevant information for their consideration and to report offenses specified by the Act. The concerning inability of the